So I've got to be able to get to this throttle body to get it off. What was I going to say? Someone talked about the sound last week. Yeah, ideally I'd constantly be wearing a mic. I was chatting to Gary about it earlier. But on the other hand of that, this isn't a professional channel. It never has been, it never will be. I'm kind of not into all that setup. I use a phone, I edit on the phone, I do it all on the phone. So that it's the quickest, simplest method for me. And even then, I'm still, you know, I'm spending hours filming a week and hours editing actually, so there's not too much rubbish in there, except for the rubbish left in there for you guys to watch. So yeah, from a sound point of view, if I want you to hear something, I'm here next to my phone talking. If it's in the background, it means it's not that important. It's normally us jabbering on about life. You're welcome to crank your TVs up and try and listen, but it's not something we're trying to hide, but it's also not something we're trying to share normally. If you tell your girlfriend that, I'll save Charlie from spiders.
I'll get brought in.
You'd be over, mate. Right, here's the offending article right here. It's this bad boy, with of course no numbers on it, but I believe there is a coding up here. Look, there it is. Now, I knew this coding was here because I found another one online. So, yeah, this is it. This is the CDI. At first they said, no, it's not something they've seen before. It's not something they can do. They looked at the pins, and then they contacted me a few days later and said, actually, we may be able to do something with it. Does it even turn? It must do, yeah. So that's it. I paid £100. I'll pack it up and I'll send it off to them in desperate hope that it comes back next weekend. I'm going to tell them that I'll pay a little bit more if they'll send it. I mean, I'll pay the price if they'll send it next day delivery once they've done it, because I think I do want it back for next weekend so that I can get it on and test it. And of course, when I put it on and test it, I don't need any fairings or anything. First thing I'd need to do is just throw it back on and in, punch it up, make sure the black box is not attached up there. I'm going to take that off now, and we'll know by the dash light or not. I mean, dash light might stay on, but it might be sparking, so I'm not going to rely on that. And we'll test it. Very exciting. Hopefully it becomes a riding bike, because it's a stunning bike. I mean, I know it doesn't look it right now, but overall it's a stunning bike. They're great bikes. It really deserves to be on the road and running, and someone will get a really beauty here, you know. Plenty storage everywhere. A great bike. It was designed to be better than the X, what was it, the X4, the Hexagon and all them bikes. So it was designed to do its job, and I'm sure it will do its job very well. And then I look forward to, if it comes back good and well, the kind of polishing up, the neatening up. Spark plug looks brand new, the one in there, so I'll leave that alone. I'll check the air filter, I'll give it a clean at least, because why not? And then I'll give it a good test run. Brakes, ultimately I'll be doing the brakes because they are a little bit on. I might even just whip them off today and give them a clean, because it really is a 20-minute job here at this stage. Cool, let me get that off so that it's good and ready. I'll message the guys, pay them. I think they then send me the address. I'll send it off next day delivery from Monday. Okay, so when you've done this much work on a bike, you just have to check everything over again. Definitely have oil off, you know, to gauges to put that in. Exhaust is on. I'm going to be checking for an exhaust leak, because of course we don't want that. And because there's always the potential that the exhaust leaks. Ideally you would have had brand new gaskets in there. Right, let's listen. Sounds right, actually. What was that?
Sound like the battery's dead.
It does sound like the battery's dead. The oil cooler bolts need nipping up. They've got crush washers under them. Ideally you'd have a fresh set, but I don't. What size were they? I think they were 14. I'm very happy with that. Sounds great. At first I thought we were hearing an exhaust blow, but we're not. We're definitely not dripping any oil. If we do, it will be an absolute tiny amount. I think we need new crush washers for them oil cooler bolts. Quick and easy fix. It'll be a minimal drip if there is one. What I don't want to do is, ruin the engine. But that's great. I'm going to let it run for 5 minutes, let it charge its battery, and then it goes back in the corner. To show that we still do charitable work, someone's brought this bike in. They want it to have an MOT soon, next week, so they want me to look over it. It definitely, I'm going to have a good look over it in a minute, but it definitely needs to do tyres. Look, it wouldn't pass. I mean, no, it wouldn't pass. It needs it, and I believe the back one's the same, but I haven't covered the plate yet, so let me do that, and then I'll show you what kind of MOT checks I do before taking bikes out. Alright, so if you, as a local or someone who's travelled or whatever, bring your bike to me and you say, Charlie, can you look this over for an MOT? What am I looking over for my guys? Because let me tell you something, there are some horrible MOT testers out there, okay? There are some shocking MOT testers, and my guys have these old-fashioned values of actually trying to help motorcyclists, okay? So if you travel to them and your indicator bulb blows on the way, they're not going to fail you. They're either going to chuck in a new bulb, or they're going to say to you, Charlie, we're going to pass you. We trust that you're going to replace that immediately. That's what they do. I can't get over Nat did a video a year and a half ago, and the guy said something about his spindle being wrong. Now, for me, unless that spindle was restricting the wheel, unless it wasn't spinning properly, unless something wasn't right, whatever, I saw no safety issue in that at all. But I remember Nat changing the spindle. So, you come to me and you say, will my bike pass an MOT? First thing I'm looking at is the tyres. Front tyre won't pass. Rear tyre won't pass. Look at the middle, won't pass, okay? So far, tyres won't pass. Secondly, it has to have the basics, which are horn, has to have indicators.
That one working?
Yep, and then your side, Rabjab, back there.
Yep, fine.
And this side there. That's good. Has to have normal running light and then a high beam and a low beam. The engine may need to be on. Right, normal running light, high beam, low beam. Okay. You would check the brake pads. I don't want to run it too long because I want to check the oil in a minute. You check the brake pads visually, so you look in and you think and you see how much bite is left. They look quite thin, actually. Sorry about that, but they look quite thin. I might pop them off and have a close look. And then the rears, are they hub? brake. The rears are a hub, that's good, no issues there, although of course I need to sit on it and press them. I'll take the mirrors off for MOT if the mirror's a bit touchy. He gave me the second mirror, but that's fine. So, this needs new tyres. Steering left to right, is it smooth? Is it notchy? Does it hit any of the bodywork? If you've got a bike with a tank and your steering hits the tank, that's a fail. Good, steering left to right, good. If it overturns, when people have snapped steering locks, if it ever overturns, that's a fail. It can't overturn, it has to stop. And the only bit of welding I did in the past was a bike I was building and it turned too far to the left for the same reason. So I had to weld a new blob so that it stopped. Brake lights, I didn't test the brake lights. Main running lights when it's running. Brake lights front, is that flicking, Rajab?
No.
No, rear one?
No.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
Not the front one. Do the front one. No.
So yeah, it's on. So one of the switches up here is fixed. Okay, so look, you can see the red there. You see the reflection.
Yeah.
I think so. It's the rear one. Look, so if I push the rear one back, so let me turn it off and check the front one again. So the front one's working well.
Yeah.
The rear one's getting stuck.
Yeah.
So I need to get into here, grease that up, because it's getting stuck. From there, I'd want to sit on the bike. I'd want to feel the brakes. The actual first test they will do is they'll press the brake levers. Do they hit the lever? Can they press them hard enough for them to hit the lever? Let me show you what I mean. It's the first test they do. So they do this, watch. Will this hit the lever? Will this hit the lever? So this one's not bad. This one needs adjusting. Look, it hits the lever.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and then it's also not springing back, which is what's leaving the light on. So it needs adjustment back here and a bit of grease up there. Other than that, if the rear running light works with the engine on, yeah, good. So all this actually needs is a bit of work in here, up here, some adjustment on the rear brake, wherever that is, the actual adjustment lever, it's down there, and 2 new tyres. So it will be MOT for, I don't know, however much, not that much money, and not that much money at all. What I'll do is I'll get the tyre numbers off the tyres, so that we can see what they are. He can buy them from eBay, and then someone can put them on.
Quite low.
Front brake's good.
That's quite low.
Rear brake needs adjustment, and that's horrible. Front tyre needs a pump, does it, Roger?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not too worried about that. The other thing is rear seat needs to lock. That is locked. Needs to be locked. If it's not locked, absolute top tip for you. I spent many years fixing locking mechanisms, and in one day, in fact, these guys, once I transferred to these guys, they said to me, Charlie, you can put a bungee cord over it. We don't care. It just needs to be strapped down. So from now on, if I've ever got a bus seat, I just put a bungee cord over the back for that day, and it passes the MOT test. And that's not a bodge. You can run every day with a bungee cord over your rear seat. That's it. I'm trying to think. Have I missed anything? Rab, have I missed anything? Shocks, if they can be seen, shouldn't be leaking. They definitely shouldn't be physical signs of leakage. Great. They've got gaiters on. Another top tip, but slightly inappropriate one. If your front forks, any bike have gaiters on, they can't check them. They can't check them. But of course, if your forks were leaking stupidly and you took them off to put gaiters on to cover the leak, that'd be ridiculous when we've shown you quick ways to change the seals, even for upright forks, without having to take them apart using that weird bottom screw. Last time I did that, what went really well was using the milk carton to slide the new one down. In the past, I've just greased it and slid it down, but the milk carton stuff keeps it kind of nice and supple. So that bike doesn't need much at all.